You gotta keep on breathing if you want to make sense of it all.
Let's find a comfortable seat. And I'm actually going to take Siddhasana, which is bringing one heel on top of the other. So it just gently, the heels or the ankles stack on top of one another. You might feel a little bit uncomfortable there, but you can always return to a butterfly or a cross-legged. Bring hands onto belly and chest, doesn't matter which one, left or right, sits wherever it just naturally went to, first of all. And start to sit nice and tall through the spine, letting the hips relax down to the floor, letting the waist lengthen away from the hips without too much effort. Let the rib cage just breathe in and out with your steadying breath. Allow the shoulders to rest down the back away from the earlobes and the neck to feel slightly longer. Facial expression, soft, relaxed. There's no tension being held around the eyes or the forehead. And feel that you are extending way past the crown of your head. And start to settle into a steady, even, equal inhale and exhale through the nostrils. Using the breath to bring your focus into the present moment, bringing yourself to the here and now, being a little bit more connected to yourself and how you feel today. Feel the spine breathe with that steady Samavriti breath. Feel the expansion on the inhale. Feel the release on the exhale. And as we come to our mat today to begin our practice, let us take a pause to recognize the value of repetition. Our breath is repeated thousands of times a day. The breath in, the breath out. The breath in, the breath out. And even when we look at our practice of physical movement, the asana, each posture that we revisit, each breath we return to, is not simply the same as before. It is a new and different experience and an invitation to explore deeper. Repetition builds familiarity. With every breath, the shapes and movements become more known, less foreign, and more like home for the body. Repetition cultivates skill. The mind and muscles begin to speak the same language. The balance steadies, the strength awakens, and fluidity grows. Repetition opens the door to meditation. When the body remembers the movement or the posture, the mind is then freed to rest in the rhythm. The practice becomes less about doing and more about being. Moving with presence, moving with breath, moving with awareness. As we come to our mats today, may we welcome the familiar, embrace the steady return, and allow repetition to carry us toward meditation in motion. with the words of the reading in mind, drawing your own intention around the ideals of repetition, returning back to the beginning each and every time to start again. But again, each experience is new and very different to the previous, and will be different to the next. And as we repeat our Sivananda 12 in a slow and stretchy way today, slowing down the practice, we are still repeating the postures, the asana. Release the hands from the body, still feeling the presence of our hands connecting to our chest and belly, still feeling the warmth of our body in the palms of our hands, wiggling fingers, moving into all of the joints, knuckles, thumbs, and moving into the wrists, circling one way, circling the other. Take that out to the side of you and just let the elbows hang and give them a little swing from the sides. So you're holding the arms up in shoulder height, but letting the arms, the lower arms, release. Nice. And then we can start to draw a little circle in the air. See if you can keep the elbow in the same place. Nice. And then circle the other way. Nice. And then relax the hands down. Draw the shoulders up towards the ears as you breathe in, and exhale, circle them back and down. Take this nice and slow, breathing in, fully lifting, raising shoulders, exhaling, breathing out, releasing, letting them down. This time we lift the arms up. Maybe the palms meet above the head, maybe they're shoulder width. Be light into the wrists. There's no tension in the fingers, but we are reaching and stretching the sides of the body up towards the sky. That lengthens our sides. Reach one hand down, doesn't matter which one, just take a nice little side stretch. Now start to gently move into the neck. So looking down to the floor, looking straight ahead, looking up to the up hand. Again, slow and steady. And then bring yourself back up into center. Reach up and exhale over to the other side. Keep the side body length. And again, start to gently move the head and neck, looking down, looking forward, looking up. Noticing any of those clicks, movement noises in the neck. Take it steady. And then press away from the floor, bring the hands back up into center, interlace the fingers, push the knuckles away from you in front of the body, round out through the spine. So we're scooping out the belly, pulling navel to spine. Spine behind you, letting the chin drop down towards the chest, releasing the weight of the head. Continue the breath. Shoulders are away from the ears. Then lengthen the spine, lift it up. Flip the palms over this time so that you get a nice little wrist stretch. Again, maybe pulling the elbows in towards one another. We don't have to overextend, but stretch. And again, a little extra lift. Release the fingers back behind you. Fingertips face forward, shoulder blades squeeze together as the elbows pull in towards the midline and open up the chest and sternum to the sky. Head can always look forward, or you gently support the weight of the head as you gaze to the sky. Again, finding that steadiness of the breath. Repetition, inhale and exhale. Breathe in, push yourself back up into center. Reach the arms up once more. This time we spread the arms and take one hand to a knee, one hand behind us, open up into a gentle rotation. No need to overforce. Opening the chest out to the side. Breathe in, arms reach up and they separate. One hand going behind you, one hand going to the front knee. And again, just open up, gently exploring that rotation through the spine. Nice. So we've started to move the spine, bring the arms back up into center and exhale, gently let them float down by the side of you, preparing the mind. We've prepared the body. Let's go into some sun salutations just to warm up. So we'll come to the back of, come to tabletop, so almost at the back of your mat. And just find some cat and cows. Inhaling for your cow, exhaling, rounding for your cat. So we just want to get some movement into the entire body before we go through our postural practice today. And then release back to kneeling. If kneeling is not comfortable for you, you can stay in a high kneel. Sitting nice and tall, letting the spine realign, letting the shoulders drop down. And let's roll down through the head and the neck, through the spine, sliding hands out in front of us to child's pose. Take a breath in, breath out. Lift up to tabletop. Lower chest and chin down towards the floor. Release the body all the way into prone. Roll the shoulders away. Come into a nice low cobra. Push back to tabletop. And your right leg comes through to the front of the mat, just releasing into a low lunge. So we're taking kneeling sun salutations. Pull that gently back and forward into half splits, into low lizard. Just feeling that front leg, feeling the back leg. And then sweep that leg back around behind you, return to kneel. Take a moment to pause, realign spine. Exhale, chin to chest, drop the head, the neck, slide the hands out. Child's pose, belly comes down to thighs. Take a breath in, breath out. Come up to tabletop as you breathe in. Exhale, chest, chin all the way to the floor. Inhale, cobra. Push back, tabletop. Take the left leg forward. Drop the hips, keep the hands down onto the floor, open the chest. Stay and hold just for a little while. Navel pulls gently back towards the spine, and then we pull the hips back towards the heel. Straightening out through the front leg, maybe with a slight softness in that knee. You can flex or you can keep those toes down in that front foot. Keep pulling back on your exhale and moving forward on your inhale. Last time, we come forward, hands come down, we sweep that leg back, and we just take a pause once more into kneel at the back of the mat. We're going to come into our first posture. We're replacing our Shirshasana, our headstand, with a child's pose. So you might like to keep the knees together. I'm going to take them just a little bit apart so that my belly can rest between the thighs. And the hands can be underneath the head or reaching forward. Head might come to the floor or come to a block. So I'm going to take about 5 or 6 breaths in each posture today. From here, preparing to move, we'll breathe in, we'll lift up into tabletop. From here, lower yourself all the way to the floor. And bring the hands underneath the head and just release into your relaxed prone posture. Soften through the spine, soften through the buttocks, soften through the hips and the belly. We are moving onto our back for just, let me see, 1, 2, 3 postures. So if you like, you can simply roll over onto your back. If you need to face the screen, you might like to move yourself and still be facing the screen. So roll over onto your back. And our options here are supported shoulder stand or a dead bug. So I've got a block handy by the side of me. You can use a cushion or a block or a bolster. And if you're in dead bug, the buttocks stay down, or the hips stay down on the floor, and your arms and your legs might lift. You might just lift the legs. That's okay. Again, you can bend into the knee, or you place the block underneath you, either lowest or medium level. I'm going medium. And find a supported shoulder stand or a supported bridge. Again, the arms can come down by the side of the hips, or maybe you like a cactus. Again, all different variations for all different bodies. Five repeated breaths. Long, slow inhale to exhales. And then lower the feet down if you had either your dead bug or your shoulder stand. Release the hands back to the hips. Press yourself up gently so you can take away that prop if you needed one or used one. And roll down through the spine. Just extend the legs, extend the arms, give the body a big, big stretch. On your exhale, gather the knees in and gently roll out through the spine. So this is an option for you. You can stay in your knees to chest. You might like to go into snail, or you might like to go into plow or halasana. Again, your choice of posture. So staying here, neck nice and long, always looking up towards the sky. Try not to look towards the screen if you're taking the legs over. Maybe you use your bolster to support your hips. So I'm actually going to do that and come into a snail pose. So again, the bolster's a little bit softer. The block's a little bit harder. So that just lifts my legs up just a little bit more. I'm going to drop my thighs down and I'm going to catch my feet. So again, 5 or 6 breaths. Maybe the legs are straight here. No, you do you. You feel what's the best place to stay in those 5 or 6 breaths. Neck stays long, gaze to the sky, chin away from chest. Once you've completed your repeated 5 breaths, bring the feet back down to the floor. And again, take your time to take a proper way if you used a comfy bolster. Slide that one away, roll down again, extend the legs, extend the arms up and back behind you. Big, big stretch through the body. This practice is all about strengthening, mobilizing, lengthening the spine. Draw the knees in, roll and massage out. Our 4th posture is our fish pose, or a supported fish. So again, if you've got blocks, you can use those, and they come underneath the spine. It takes a bit of work to get into there just for 5 breaths, so I'm just going to simply use the block on its lowest level, place it down between the center of my spine, and rest my head back. So again, it's just 5 breaths. Legs can be long, legs can be in butterfly. 5 breaths is about a minute. Once you have found those 5 repeated breaths, take your time to come out of the posture. If your head was back, just lift the head and neck gently to look along the body. Push yourself off of your prop and then take that away. Lie back in Shavasana. Relax the toes, relax the legs. Spread the shoulders. Take the arms out to the side of you. Just feel that there's nothing now underneath your spine. You've opened up the chest and the collarbones and the upper back. And we're already started to move from the crown of the head, down the neck, down through the upper back. And we're starting to come into the mid-back area in our 5th posture. So again, we're coming up to seated, so you can do that however you like. You might like to roll the knees over to one side and just bring yourself up gently, or you just bring yourself to seated. Take your time, we've been down there a few minutes. Nice. I'm going to swing my legs around. Good. And we're going to come into a seated forward fold. So you can take the legs a little bit wider, the feet might be together. You can wiggle the flesh, you can put a cushion or a block underneath you. Lift the arms up. Extend the sides of the body, reach up and coming over the legs. Hands rest down onto the shins or the floor. Navel gently pulls back towards the spine. Let the head and the neck soften and relax, or keep it in line with the spine here. So either a flat back with the neck in line, or a rounded back with the chin to chest. And it's 5 breaths. Everybody's length of breaths are very, very different. Prepare to roll up or come up with a flat back. Bring yourself back up into Dandasana or staff pose. So hands come back by the side of the body and just flex into the feet, point, just release into the ankle joints, because sometimes we quite neglect the extremities when we're working just on the spine. Circling, rotating, sitting tall, firm yet relaxed. Give the legs a little shake out. And how are we doing? Good. Let's swing our legs around behind us, come all the way down onto our belly. Into prone postures, we have 3 of them. Head comes to the back of the hands and just release the buttocks, release the belly, release the lower back. Sway the hips out gently from side to side so that you can feel that there's no engagement, no tension, no tightness, no gripping. So ordinarily we would look at Cobra in our Sivananda 12, but we are going to look at Sphinx pose today, bringing the arms out in front of you, elbows down onto the floor, forearms straight ahead. I tend to widen my feet just a little bit, but I try not to let my heels roll in, which is an external rotation of the leg from the hip joint. So pressing all 10 toes, including those little toes, into the mat. Keeping the chest nice and lifted, again returning to those 5 repeated breaths. Lower down as you widen the elbows, bring the big toes to touch in the center, relax the ankles out to the sides, let the head relax onto the back of the hands. Soften everything after that first back bend. As I say, these are 3 back extensions, which ordinarily would be Cobra, Locust, and Bow. We're going to go into a half locust. So again, maybe widening the feet, maybe hip width. Sweeping the arms back around you, interlace the fingers, press the knuckles towards the heels, and just lift up the upper body. So hold here for 5 breaths. Takes a little bit more energy than our Sphinx pose. Pull the shoulder blades in towards one another. Use the abdominals, use the back muscles, use the side muscles. Still finding those 5 breaths. When you finish your repeated 5 breaths, lower down, hands come down to the hips, palms face up, turn to the cheek. Take a moment to pause and let the nervous system regulate itself after maybe what was a posture that needed a little bit more energy, a little bit more core engagement. We're going to move into half bows. So left hand can come down in front of you underneath the head. Right hand is already by the hip, so it might take hold of the right foot. Or use a strap, lengthen that hip flexor away, and then pull the heel in towards the buttock. If you feel this is okay for you, you might like to come up into a little bit of a half sphinx. So we do get that upper back bend in there as well. Pulling heel to buttock, opening up the chest and shoulder. And And lowering head, releasing hand, letting foot float down. Bring the right hand underneath the head. Left hand sweeps back to catch hold of that left foot or use a strap. Lift and lengthen the thigh, pull the hip flexor down and then pull the thigh back down onto the floor. Heel pulls into buttock and you may come up into that half sphinx back bend. Notice the breath in all of the postures. Even though we're repeating an inhale and an exhale, they're all going to be very, very new experiences, very different. Release the hands, let the foot float down, bring the head to the back of the hands as you bring the left hand back around. Give the hips a little sway out from side to side. Finished our back bends, let's push ourselves back up into tabletop. Find a cat and cow here. Just go easy into the rounding and the flexion of the spine here. You might notice that you have much more arch, much more opening through into the cow, but then when you maybe start to move into the rounding, into the flexion, might be a little bit restricted, so go easy. That's what I find anyway. Your spine might be very different to mine. Shouldn't really go straight into a flexion straight after back bends, but sun salutations tend to do that anyway. And then just go for a little side stretch here. So hips go to the right, head goes to the left. Breathe in, hips go to the right, hips go to the left, head goes to the right. Look the opposite way is basically. Once you've equaled that out, both sides, bring yourself back into center and just release back through child's pose, exhaling, hips to heels. And bring the hands back to the knees as you gently and slowly uncurl, no rush, and come up to that kneel once more at the back of the mat. Let the buttocks drop down to the heels or stay up in a high kneel if the knees don't like kneeling. Feel the spine is long, strong, elongated, more mobile, more flexible. Shoulders resting away from the ears. And spin the legs around in front of you for our seated twist. Bring the right leg across. It can either go by the thigh, the knee, or the calf. Sit tall on both sit bones. We're going to take a twist towards that bent knee and either hug or take the elbow on the outside of the knee. Close the eyes here. We do twists. We do seated twists all the time in our practice, but each time is a new experience. It's a repeated posture. Notice how it feels today. Slow and steady, equal 5 breaths. Breathe in, come back into the center. Release the leg and change sides. Place the foot, thigh, knee, or by the calf. Ground through that big toe and get the belly free of the thigh. And again, you can simply hug or take the elbow across. Open the chest out to the side. Close the eyes. Soften into the repetition, but on the other side. Slow and steady, 5 repeated breaths. Breathe in, come back into center, and exhale, extend the legs. Return back into staff pose. Sit tall. Long, long spine, lengthening away from the ground up towards the sky. And let's swing those legs around behind us. And instead of doing a crow pose, I'm actually going to take us into a malasana squat. So just take your time to find your feet on the wider edges of your mat and soften, soften, soften into your squat. You might like to move a little bit left and right. And the thing with Sivananda 12 is there's not many hip opening postures here. So it's more about the length of the spine here, the opening of the chest, the dropping of the sit bones down towards the floor. Keep the chest nice and open. Maybe the thumbs meet the heart space, shoulders relaxed away from the ears. 5 breaths. Once you've completed your rounds of breaths, release the hands to the floor. This is where we would prep to go into a crow pose usually. So hands come down to the floor. Start to lift the sit bones, lengthening the legs. And then eventually the toes are going to have to turn in to parallel. Heel toe them back in and a half lift. Nice half forward fold, lengthen, long spine. We're going into a forward fold from here, so you choose the option that's good for you. Maybe putting the elbows onto the knees and just keeping the head in line with the heart, or maybe letting the belly, the chest drop down over the thighs, coming into that dangle. And those repeated 5 breaths. We've already done one forward fold today, a seated forward fold. And to come out, hands released to the floor, we bend the knees. And we release the feet back behind us. Come into a kneel. Return to the back of the mat. Find that lengthening of the spine once more, shoulders relaxed, facial expression soft. So our last and final posture would be a triangle pose. To go into the triangle, you might like to come into your tabletop or tucking the toes, going into your downward facing dog, releasing, and just stepping forward with your left leg. Finding the foot positions and start to come up through a warrior 2. Just find that position standing. Oh, this is the only posture that's really standing apart from that standing forward fold. Straighten through the front leg and give yourself the space in the side body. So push the hip out behind you and then reach over. And hand might come to the floor, might come to the block, might come to the shin, might come to the calf, might come to the thigh, but keep the side body strong, open. Gaze, look down, look ahead, look to the sky. Check in with the stability of your balance here, finding those 5 breaths. 5 breaths in a standing posture seems much longer than 5 breaths when you're down on the floor. This is our lateral flexion, our side body stretch. Press through the feet, come back up. Turn the front toes inwards, turn the back toes outwards. So just simply turn to the other side. Right leg is in front. Gently bend in through your warrior 2 so you can start to realign your positioning. Nice strong back leg. Draw the front leg inwards as you straighten. Push the hip out behind you, reach over and away, and hand comes down either to the floor, to the block, to the shin, to the calf, or to the thigh. Keep lift in the underside, the right side of your body. Keep rotation gently to the sky of your upper rib cage. Find those 5 breaths. Press through the feet, use the core, bring yourself back up to stand. Turn the toes in and then gently hands to hips and heel toe into parallel. Just come to stand in the center of your mat. Release the hands down and just find mountain pose. My head's cut off, that's okay. I can pull funny faces. Feel the spine long. Feel the legs hopefully are longer. Feel the hips are more open, released, less tense in the hip joints. Feel the mind is a little bit calmer. Let's step to the front of the mat and let's bring ourselves down to the floor. Breathe in, lift the arms up. Maybe a little upward salute there, a little back bend. Exhale, swan dive with bent or straight legs into the fold. Inhale, lengthen spine to your half lift. Step back to plank. Find the plank pose, lower knees, chest, chin. This time we do a cobra. Roll and open those shoulders and push back, tabletop, maybe a downward facing dog. Find 5 breaths in your downward facing dog, checking in. Lower when you need to, and just bring the hands back to the heels into a child's pose. Let the head come to the floor or to a block. Soften the shoulders, soften the neck, soften the spine. Bring the hands forward to support you in your roll up. Draw the navel in towards the spine. Come back into that kneel once more. Hands rest on the thighs. Maybe close the eyes. Maybe take a minute or 2 just to sit and breathe, feeling the length, feeling the mobilization, the flexibility of your own spine through the practice today. but also the postures that are repeated to us through numerous sequences that we do through Hatha, Vinyasa flow, Yin yoga. How were they today? Familiar? They were known? We just approach them in a different way. Take a breath in, slow breath out, and swing the legs around in front of you. Just shuffle yourself forward if you're like me. I'm obviously right at the back of my mat, so shuffle yourself forward. And let's take a nice, slow, controlled roll down through the spine. So sitting tall, we're going to draw the navel in towards the spine so that the lower lumbar section of the spine comes down to the floor first of all, rounding out through the thoracic, and then each of the mid and the upper back starts to come down. If it gets a little tough, breathe out, keep rolling each and every vertebra, and eventually the shoulder blades come down, and then the back of the head, lift the arms up above the head, stretch the legs away, point the toes. Big, big stretch, as if someone's pulling your feet, someone's pulling your hands, and they're stretching your body. And then gently relax, breathe out, draw the knees in, roll, and massage out through the spine. Circle the knees one way, circle the knees the other. Take the knees outwards, away from one another, so that you can gently circle into the hips. One way and the other. And we've completed all 12 postures that we were using in our Sivananda 12 through this month. So this is now just a release for the spine. So feet come down to the wider edges. Spread the shoulder blades, take the arms out at shoulder height. Let the knees drop over to one side. Keep the space between the feet. And if it feels good, looking towards your left palm. Breathe in, head comes back, knees come back. Exhale, knees go over to the left, head turns to your right. Breathe in the head to center, breathe the knees into center. Extend the legs all the way along the mat, lift the arms up above the head, shuffle the shoulders over to your top right corner. And then shuffle the feet to the bottom right corner, maybe crossing over those legs, coming into that crescent side stretch, banana shape. Just releasing through the left side of the body here. Breathe the head and neck back into center. Shuffle the shoulders and release the arms. Release the top foot. Take a moment to rest in Shavasana, in neutral spine. Keep the feet where they are. Lift the arms up above the head. Shuffle arms, head, shoulders over to the top left corner. And just release the right leg over and across the left. It might come next to it. It might come over. And soften down through that right side, all the way from the little finger to the little toe. Breathe the head, arms, shoulders back into center. Release the hands, release the foot. Find neutral spine. Give the hips a little shake. Massage into the buttocks. This in turn gives the legs a shake. You get a thigh, calf massage. The feet and the ankles relax, and you might get a little bit of waist movement and shoulder movement as you just shake from side to side. Gently draw the knees in and release the lower back. So drawing tailbone down, keeping neck nice and long, chin spaced away from the chest. Just a squeeze. And if you feel that there is something more that your body is craving, it needs right now, go ahead, do that, or just simply make your way into your final relaxation. And you can use props, bolsters underneath the knees, maybe a block underneath the head, making sure that you're warm. Take the feet nice and wide of your mat, let the toes relax out. And coming to your final relaxation, just making any final adjustments that you need to before settling in and finding stillness. And just letting our mind come into the present rather than still just maybe now as our body finds stillness, our mind tends to want to go elsewhere. So keep the focus present. Return back to the steady breaths that we've been doing through the entire practice. Repeated breaths. And each and every time that we come into our relaxation at the end of a yoga practice, it's a repeated end, but it's always different. It's a familiar space, but just enjoy it for what it is today in these moments. I'll leave you for some silence, and I'll let you know when it's time to come back around. Beginning to deepen the breath, bringing your awareness back into your surroundings, back on the mat, and gently bring movement back into the body by wiggling fingers and toes, first of all. Releasing through the neck, just dropping chin to shoulder. Breathing in, lifting the arms up above the head, bringing the feet together, giving yourself a big stretch, as if it was a morning stretch after a deep, restful, energizing sleep. And you're just about to start your day. And then gather the knees in, just feeling the spine beneath you, grounding, spreading, lengthening. Releasing, letting go of any remaining tightness and tension you might be carrying. Taking your time to roll over to one side, returning up to a comfortable seat. And again, that seat is yours. So it might be butterfly, might be cross-legged. I'm going to return to Siddhasana. Connecting the heels on top of one another, bringing the hands into Anjali Mudra in heart center. Sitting tall, long, strong, flexible through the spine. Firm yet relaxed as we sit, letting go of tension in the lower body. Rising to the sky. And reminding ourselves of our own personal intention for practice today, one of around repetition, and why repetition shouldn't be classed as boring or repetitive, but more about a skill of learning and building familiarity. And we embrace the steady return of a repetitive breath, the inhales and the exhales. It's all cyclical, just like the sun, the moon, the seasons are repeated. Always thank your body, your breath, your focus for everything it does for you each and every day, on and off the mat. And I thank you so much. Thank you. Namaste.